All right, Frank, we just got a couple trailers launching today, but something that you were stoked about. We got What If Season 2. We have not really watched it yet, so this would be our first take and our first reaction to it.
Yeah.
Man, what do you think? What do you expect?
Well, I'm hoping to get the Iron Man episode. I know we've got the episode list already out, and it looks like we're getting the Iron Man episode that was promised from the first season. So I'm looking forward to seeing a little bits of that. I'm hoping they continue the story, the grand story from What If Season 1, which What If's interesting because it kind of has a grand story and also doesn't need it. So I want a continuation, but it's not required.
Absolutely. It's so funny you bring that up. So What If was lower for me in terms of like the Disney Plus shows. I didn't like that they connected at the end. That for me wasn't the best part. It also like the team they assembled is badass, but it doesn't make sense when you know there's a Tony Stark out there and you know there's a Steve Rogers who's super badass. And so that was like a tough thing for me to get through. But from what I've seen about this trailer, it looks awesome. I don't need it to connect. If it does and it works, I'll be stoked about it. But I like the randomness of each story and that it just exists in its own pocket dimension or timeline.
Yeah. It's just cool to see variants. Speaking of Loki, variants of everything. So, let's get underway. I'm ready to go.
Let's get into it. All right, we'll count it down. And 3, 2, 1. All right, we got a jet.
This kid puts on quite
Okay,
a
so
show.
it's probably done in the past. We have older versions of everybody.
I have eyes
Yeah,
on
we got
the
Hank
target.
Pym.
He does not look all that
Oh, this is
Is
the
that Peter
chocolate?
Quill?
Looks can
Oh,
be
it does look like
deceiving,
Peter
Your
Quill.
Highness.
He's got powers?
Are you sure you do
got
not want any
superpowers?
backup?
Nah, I'm great with kids.
You think that's Michael
Finish-
Douglas's voice?
It is. And
Wow, that's
that's
sick.
T'Challa's dad, and I think that's Peter Quill as a kid,
You thought the story
embracing
was
the ego side of him. Oh, there's Hela.
Ooh, Hela. Dude, I love that they're bringing back one-off characters because
Yes.
we didn't have enough time with Hela.
I don't do sequels.
That's the old SHIELD agent that we see like in the Ant-Man movies.
But they
Yeah,
get
and I saw Thunderbolt Ross, but like William Hurst Thunderbolt Ross. That's sick.
Good.
in the multiverse.
There's the grand story I was looking for. There's and
Which
the
I
Iron
don't
Man.
need.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, what is this race? They're like playing Marvel Mario Karts right now, and I'm not mad at it. Yeah, Korg.
Who is this handsome dog?
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh god, he could do no wrong about it. I love Jeff Goldblum.
Oh man, this is good.
This
Iron
does
episodes.
look good. That battle. Wait, is that Shang-Chi's mom?
Yes, it is.
Sick.
Oh, that's Shang-Chi versus... Oh, that's Shang-Chi versus Odin, the Shang-Chi clan.
Holy shit, that's great. Ooh, Steve Rogers actually looks like he gets a stab at the Infinity Gauntlet. Ooh,
And
rocket.
for fencing, there's Dark Doctor Strange.
I've been
That's
looking
our
for
new
you
character. I can't
Yeah.
remember her name.
for a long time.
Is that Maya Lopez?
No, it's a whole new character they made up for What If.
Just be
Oh, that's right. I remember them saying something about that. That's awesome.
I don't
It's
think
Okay.
a really
Good
cool
stuff.
story.
what
Yeah.
might happen next.
Captain Carter's back.
Oh man, the narration too. I forgot what the actor's name is, but he plays Alfred.
Yeah, it's Jeff. something.
We got a code red. The Avengers
Happy.
On Christmas?
Oh, I love that they use the regular voices.
No, wait, under siege?
Yeah, oh, man.
No, that's not it.
Also, that actor that plays Darcy, like that voice there. Oh, Tony Stark, you think?
Bro.
Oh my
one
God.
episode per day for 9 days straight.
Jeez, that is a Christmas treat. Man, that actually looks really sick. I'm
That's my Christmas
pumped about
plans
that.
right there. That's exactly what I'm doing for Christmas.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I guess not seeing Aquaman, which comes out the same day. But man, that looks dope. I didn't necessarily like how they all connected in it. I didn't think that was necessary. I like the idea of just random stories that exist in the multiverse that are really badass. But if this connects, I'm super on board with it. God, does it look dope? Bringing back all these characters that we got in one movie. Like, I'm so on board with that.
I love that we get T'Challa's dad, which again we had a little one-off of with. I can't remember.
T'Chaka.
T'Chaka, there it is. But yeah, it's just so cool to see them all. And then we got Peter Quill. We also got Peter Quill's dad, Ego. I don't know if you saw that, but it's that younger version of him when he's dating Peter's mom.
Yeah.
He had
With
that
the,
cool hair.
the feathery hair. Yeah, the Farrah
So
Fawcett
we got
going
like
on.
half a second of him in there. So I like that this is a version where maybe he sticks around and tells Peter of his like strengths and embraces it.
That's good. That's good. I didn't think about that because you're right. It does look like Peter Quill in the beginning, but it's like maybe he was a variant. You're right. Maybe he's a variant, and then he has all the ego powers because he knows about them, and he turns evil because he has all this power at such a young age. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
Because
good.
that's what's great. It's always what if. So it's like, what if Ego stuck around? And so then all of a sudden you're like, well, he would obviously tell Peter, and even if Peter wasn't evil, but Peter was being told by his dad, you're better than the humans around you, which is definitely an ego thing to say. And then,
Right.
as a kid, you automatically think that, like, why don't I have that toy? I should have that toy. And he just takes it.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. Love it. Yeah. It's like some Brightburn stuff. But we also, it seems like maybe it's like, what if the Avengers got together sooner? So now we're getting the previous versions of everybody, right? Like maybe we get Captain Carter, or we get Tony Stark's dad, we get Howard Stark, we get T'Chaka, we get Hank Pym. Like that team too would be really sick. So I love that they're doing that.
One of the things they did in the first season of What If is they showed one of Hank Pym's most important stories is the fact that his mental stability is shaken and he actually like treats wasps terribly. It's a whole thing. It's really important. You guys read that in the comics. And it's like, I mean, it's in the 70s that Marvel's already doing this kind of stuff. And anyways, so here is another good time to show how big of a character Hank Pym was to Marvel back in the day. We're all on Scott Lang, and Scott Lang's wonderful. But Hank Pym was one of the founding Avengers, and is one of the reasons Marvel did so well in the beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's crazy to think that they didn't do that movie till, the end of phase 2. Because it was so awesome. If you've been reading the reign of the MCU, you know that Edgar Wright was attached to it, and he had this whole master plan, and he tried to pitch it for like 8 or 9 years, and he kind of fell out once the Marvel machine was going, and they were like, I think his famous quote is, the MCU wanted to make an Edgar Wright movie, but Edgar Wright didn't want to make an MCU movie, or something like that. And it's really badass. I love that they're pulling all these characters back. One in particular was Hela from Thor Ragnarok. How do you think she comes into play with this?
You know what? I wonder if it's what if Odin unleashed Hela? Because we see Odin later on too fighting. So what if it's like Odin and Hela are working together?
Oh, dude. Yes, that would be sick. Oh my God, that would make total sense. And then why the heroes that we have on Earth at this time, which would be, I think it was Shang-Chi's dad. So either it was like the
mom
Mandarin.
that controls wind, and then the dad's there, and the dad's using the rings, and the mom's using like a shield, which might be something.
Yeah, there was somebody using a shield, which I thought was really interesting too. So maybe there's always this archetype of a Captain America always on Earth.
Man.
Anytime.
And you know
that
what I
is a
absolutely
good
freaking
one.
love is Shang-Chi, it just deserves so much more out of MCU. Like, first off, it's a character they essentially invented, because that's not how his powers work in the comics, but it's so well done. And we're getting ghosted. We're getting ghosted on him. And this is our chance to be like, hey, here's a little bit more of that world. And if the fans react the way they probably should react, maybe Marvel will be like, you know what, they want more of Shang-Chi, let's give them more of Shang-Chi. So that's another thing too, is it's a second chance for all these characters that Marvel kind of might be using as a way to test the waters a little bit on people's reactions.
Right. I can't believe we haven't got a Shang-Chi 2 announcement. Like, that's crazy for how successful that movie was and how good it was. Like, that just blows my mind. But I guess I'll take it in What If season 2, like, if that's all we could get it. What else that was in there? Cool. We're back on the planet that Thor goes to in Ragnarok.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum. He's a national treasure.
He is. He's so good. That voice is iconic. That character was amazing in Ragnarok. Like, we're getting this collector type of character. And now they're doing seriously like a Mario Kart thing where they're all battling in this race. Like, super on board with that. That looks sick.
It's important to remember that was meant to be in episode 1 or season 1. They didn't finish it in time because of the pandemic. So Nebula from that episode joined the Multiverse Avengers in the finale of season 1, and she didn't really have a reason to be there. This is the episode that's going to explain that one.
Oh, got it. Did you see anything that pulled from the episode that also didn't come out involving Tony Stark? Like, we see him at the end. He's in a Santa costume. Oh, you think that's the one?
Well, because the idea of that episode is Tony Stark gets pulled to the Junker planet, and he makes a Hulk smasher, whatever, and he and Nebula team up. So that's supposed to be that episode that got scrapped because I think it was one short. It was one short for season 1, and they said they're going to be putting in this one. But yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh man, I'm super on board with that. Give me more Tony Stark. That's the other thing. We also see the Cap that we got from Infinity War battling Thanos again, and he looks like he kind of wins. At least maybe knocks out one of the Infinity Stones from the Gauntlet. I'm so excited to get these original characters back. Like I love the new characters too, don't get me wrong. But these original characters that started phases 1 through 3, original Tony, original Cap, like having them come back and maybe interact with some of these new characters that they never had a chance to, that's so dope. And that's something like you might only be able to get in What If. Like just keep doing this forever. I think that's awesome.
And we also get to see them take the comic book style liberties with characters that we're already really familiar with and show them in like a extreme version. In the comic books is always really fun. The best version of this is probably Strange Supreme, who we get to see of like, what if he just like let his love life dominate his magic life and he just absorbs everything until he's so powerful. And we got like when the new Doctor Strange movie came out, I was one of the people that was like, is that Strange Supreme right there? And it kind of shows how people were motivated by that. We also get that with Odin in this one. Odin looks like he's fully like wartime Odin, which we saw glimpses of, but really at the time of the Thor movies, he's much more subdued, he's much more King Odin, but like wartime Odin's fun to watch, you know?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just went back and watched Thor 1 and we got him blasting all the frost giants with his spear. I mean, that's super dope. Seeing him in full form is going to be awesome. So, man, I love... That's something, again, that What If can do that we're probably never getting in live action, but just all these characters from all these original movies who may have just been in one appearance, maybe died or fell off, or maybe they were too old in real life to like do any action scenes. We get them here doing action scenes. That's so sick.
So I just pulled up the leaked episode list for the titles. Do you want to go through those?
Oh my God. Yeah, spoiler alert if you don't want to know any of the names, everybody. But yeah, let's get into it.
Here we go. The first one's going to be, what if Nebula joined the Nova Corps? So that's coming out on the 22nd. So
interesting. Okay.
That's
the first one? Wow. What a concept, knowing that we just got the Marvels, and then we know that they wanted to do a Nova show or movie. Like, this is a great way to test the water. Like, do people actually care about the Nova Corps? That's sick. Yeah.
Which I have like Nova #1 on my shelves. So I'm like, yes, please make a Nova big, because that price of that comic goes up quite a bit. When you do it.
Yeah, true.
What if, I should have read this answered the exact question. I was like, is that Peter Quill? What if Peter Quill attacked Earth's Mightiest Heroes? Note, it doesn't say Avengers. It says Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
There you go, because maybe this is before the Avengers, pre-Avengers. That's cool, man. I like it.
Happy Hogan saved Christmas. So they already were kind of doing like a, McClane Die Hard vibe. It sounds like it's just going to be a Die Hard, and that's coming out on Christmas Eve, December 24th. That's going to be, that's amazing. I'm watching all of these the second they get released, but that's going to be cool.
And you're getting Darcy Lewis back too, and she had such a big role in WandaVision, one of my favorite characters in WandaVision. And yeah, Kat Dennings is like the perfect choice. Like, bring her back all day. This is great.
Our actual Christmas Day release is going to be the missing episode from season 1. Iron Man crashed into the Grand Master. So that's where we're going to get that death race.
Death. So good. That's crazy.
Then on Boxing Day, we have Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper. Hydra Stomper is the Steve Rogers controlled Hulk Smasher from the first season.
Yeah, that Howard Stark makes him. That's an interesting one.
Did he get captured by? I think he got captured by Hydra in season 1. So
I basically think he like sacrifices himself.
Yeah. So I bet Steve Rogers is Winter Soldiered and has the Hydra Smasher, and is going to be fighting Captain Carter. That's gonna be cool.
Oh, that's such a cool concept. Hell yeah, I'm pumped for that one. And also, it's like lover versus like star-crossed lover kind of deal again, and there's going to be some emotion there probably. Like, that's exciting.
Now, talk about one of my favorite, it's not Elseworld, but basically Elseworld what if stories from the comics. The what if the Avengers assembled in 1602? So we're getting the classic 1602 run of Marvel. We might get a Spider-Man in this too. Like, that's a Spider-Man thing too.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so maybe we were right. Maybe there's a Captain America version or archetype back in the 1600s. We're probably getting a Thor. We're getting maybe Shang-Chi's dad at that point. Maybe he's still a hero. He's still trying to do the right thing. I mean, who else could they throw in there? a Black Widow seems obvious. An Archer seems obvious. Who else could they throw in there?
Archer. Oh yeah. The Archer thing is gonna be so clean.
Yeah.
Old English
exactly.
Archer that just happens to be really good at shooting. That's gonna be. This is the one we were waiting for. What if Hela found the 10 rings?
Oh, is that the combination?
That's what it is.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. I that's cool. I do kind of like your version. What if Odin let Hela, dominate? That actually sounded pretty cool. But I'm curious about that one. That one sounds pretty unique.
So, but let's think about this. If Hela finds the 10 rings and is fighting that dimension, her father would defend her. As much as she's a pain in the ass, her father would defend one of his kids. So she's gonna be fighting, and then maybe Odin comes in and be like, "Oh, they almost beat my daughter. I have to defend her." You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think that's when he would step up and be wartime Odin.
God, that's so dope. Man, that one sounds sick. I can't wait for that episode.
We've got 2 more, and this is a created character for the What Ifs that I'm hoping they actually make comics for as well. What if Corey reshaped the world? So Kahori is a new character. She's a Native American who finds, I believe it's the Tesseract, and is able to reshape the world. And so we see a what if America was formed in a different way, basically, but all told through the Marvel lens. It'll be fun to explore that.
Oh man, yeah, that is exciting. She looks a badass. That I love, different shows that show Native American culture and like highlight it in a really badass way. There was a movie called Prey that was kind of like a predecessor to. That movie was incredible, and so badass. The weaponry, the thought process, the way America looks and acts and feels at that moment through the Native American lens, I think is badass. Dude, I can't wait for that episode. I hope people like it.
Yeah. And then we have, finally, what if Strange Supreme intervened? That's our culmination. At the end of the last one, the finale was fighting the actually realized powerful Ultron. And this one's going to be what if, and it's going to be Doctor Strange Supreme at his maximum form. It's going to probably be the villain. That'll be fun to see.
Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Because it was interesting for me in season 1 where he kind of ends up being more of a good guy, and the whole time I thought he was being corrupted and he was evil. It seemed like he was going down that path. I wanted to see him be more of a villain and them have to stop him, but it also makes sense that now we're seeing it, and then what heroes will be left to stop him? I think that's going to be unique. Maybe that's where we get Simu Liu's Shang-Chi. Maybe that's where we get Iman Vellani's Miss Marvel. I don't know, because I know that they're also in this season as well, and so I can't wait to see what they do with them. Maybe it's that episode.
I do want to mention, like many of you guys, I love Marvel Zombies. The spin-off to What If is coming, so that's why Zombies 2 isn't necessarily announced in this. It's because it's getting its own series, and that's underway. It's coming later next year, apparently.
Right on. Dude, yeah, the Marvel Zombies episode was one of my favorites.
Oh,
that was
so
so
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch, like, oh god, she looks so crazy as a zombie. It was
Yeah. But also like Ant-Man as Giant Man in a zombie, that part was so sick. I loved that. I was like, whoa, that's cool. And then you have Spider-Man kind of fighting zombies. Like, that's dope.
what is it? DC's, god, that's hard to say. Deceased is really good too, the DC version of it. Poison Ivy and Swamp Thing basically save the world. That's totally, and
No
Batman
way.
and Harley Quinn work together the whole time. It's such a fun story. God, I think Tom King wrote on that one.
Yeah, Tom Taylor.
Tom Taylor. It's the two gods of DC. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. The two
with
Toms
Jim Lee,
taking over
like,
all
hiding
DC.
them both. I want to draw that now. But yeah, so What If looks so good. I'm ecstatic after this trailer. I'm real hyped for this. For some reason, like the 9 days of an episode each day is like a new way of releasing something that has me even more hyped. So I'm all for it.
Right. Perfect for Christmas too. Like what is it, like 12 days of Christmas, but we're getting 9. Like that still works for me. I'll take it. I'm stoked. Yeah, I think that this to me is looking better than season 1. I wasn't necessarily super hyped for season 1 or by the end of watching it, but I think I'm more excited for this season than season 1 by far.
I tell you what, guys, I'm going to release my review, if not 3 pros and a con, on every one of these as they come out. So just keep an eye out for that on the social media, guys.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. 3 pros and a con. Also, if you like 3 pros and a con or you're not like it, just tell us because we want to know if it's worth our time.
Yeah, that'd be great. we could probably be less formal with it or whatever, but just let us know. We love your feedback, so please give it to us.
We'll keep it raw like this.
Oh, there we go. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us for this impromptu discussion, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Aloha.